So, good day, and once more, thank you for showing up today. It's a real pleasure of me meeting you.
Um, okay. The only question I think I have is I want to know more about the norm therapy you mentioned.
Oh, great. So, Norm Therapy, there's an organization in the United States called Abuse Refuge Org. So, Abuse Refuge Org, they do therapy. They help people with different situations in life. If you seek assistance, you can go there and they will help you with your therapy throughout. I personally did the NOM therapy training, so I'm a NOM therapist there. Currently, they are training people to become NOM therapists. They do have people, we do have people from all over the world. We also have people from Nigeria, from America, everywhere around the globe. So the training that they have for 2024, there is a promotion that they're running. The price is there on my page. So you can go there, be trained to become a non-therapist tomorrow. Or if you think that you seek assistance or you seek some therapy, you can also reach out to them and they will help you throughout your healing journey.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Any other question regarding the session so far based on what I shared with you?
Okay. No, no. Let's. We can proceed for now.
Great. So let's get going. I did some research about you on LinkedIn, and I discovered that you have been working in the human resources industry for a while now, and you started working for Action contre la faim as a HR archivist, and you
Yes.
are currently working as a HR journalist at Acted. I also saw that you received two recommendations from your supervisors, like they said great things about you. I was really interested. So today, I'm really excited to discover more about you and try to understand your career journey. So I want you to introduce yourself, your name, where are you located? Yes, I mentioned your position, your current position, but if you can tell us more about it and the company where you work. Again, this is optional. Anything you feel comfortable sharing.
Okay. Um, I am Theresa Obute, and I'm in Abuja, Nigeria. Like you already mentioned, I was a human resource archivist at Action Control FM, and I worked with Acted. I am no longer with Acted. I think I need to update my LinkedIn.
Yeah.
I left Acted in early November 2023. I'm currently working as a human resource generalist with Talent Lab Limited. Um,
Okay.
at Talent Lab Limited, we are all about training and developing consultants or young career people, and then for the needs of development sectors, we when we train them, we should I say we rent them out, or we sell them out to companies and organizations in the development sector who are interested in people with those skills that we've trained.
Oh, wow. That's interesting. So, what
Yeah.
is your current working mode? Nowadays, as you know, some people they work remotely, others work in a hybrid mode, others they work on site. What is your case?
Okay, currently it's hybrid.
Okay. And if you
Yes.
had to choose, which working mode would you choose?
I like hybrid
Okay.
because seeing your colleagues once in a while kind of helps you build a relationship that normally on if you are working purely remotely you may not be able to build. So as much as I love working remotely, I have realized that I prefer a hybrid method. Though I work perfectly remotely, but I would prefer a hybrid method where I can see my colleagues once in a while. So it helps us build some kind of rapport that helps everything go smoothly. We understand each other. better.
I agree with you. I work remotely. In the past, I've worked on site, but to be honest, I think working hybrid is good because you have this personal feeling with like personal relation with your colleagues, and sometimes to time you can work in the comfort of your home, and you can have some fresh air while going out because I spend like 2 weeks some other times I'm not going outside, and
Mhm.
sometimes I'm like, oh my
Yes.
God, I can't stand it. So
Yes.
definitely agree with your choice. So, can you tell me about your professional journey, if you can summarize it?
Okay. After my national youth service, which is something compulsory here in Nigeria, I did that at the National Primary Health Care Development Agency. It's a government agency in Nigeria. I worked in the finance and admin department. Afterwards, I actually worked with Jotech. It's a technology company as an administrative officer. And after then I got interested in human resource, in most especially in promoting a positive work culture and like growth, contributing to professional growth of individuals, capacity building. And so I started taking some courses, and once I started taking the courses, I was so in love with it. I was really, really interested in it, and I applied to Action Country La Femme, where I started as the human resource archivist. Um, it was a 6 month contract. So when I was done, I moved to Acted. So at Acted, I did a payroll, recruitment, and all other. It was not structured the way it was at Action Country La Firm, where uh, there is a recruiting department under the HR. There's recruiting, there's payroll, there's learning and development. Here at Acted, we just do everything. So
Okay.
that was all we did at Acted, and then after Acted, I moved um, to Talent Lab Limited, where we source for talents and train these talents. So this is really in line with what I really want to do, and it was what attracted me to Talent Lab, being able to build people's capacity and help them align with their chosen careers and help them grow in their career. So that's what I've been
Wow.
doing.
Interesting.
Yes.
I saw that you studied economy. How did
Yes.
you go from economy and found yourself in the human resources? What
Okay.
triggered you? Like, what was your passion? Did you receive any how can I say it? Were you inspired by someone? What happened?
Okay. Um, During my degree, under in economics, the course economics, we had several other sub courses, and human resource management was a course I took.
Okay.
It was a minor, so it's interested me. I was interested in it, but I didn't really think I was going to go into it. I didn't think I was going to go into it, but then I when I listened to a lady. She spoke about how she was recruiting for a particular role. She was recruiting for security guards, and one of the guys that applied to the security guard role, he was way more qualified for another position. And so once the recruitment was done, she called him and she was like, why do you want to do a security guard? Your academic, your skills and every other thing shows that you are more uh like he was more suited to another role, which was in ICT logistics department. And so she told him, okay, let's have you intern in that department for a while and see how you do. And then he did, and he since then he had really grown in that department, and I
Wow.
was really really inspired. And then when I did the archiving at ACF, I saw how I, while I was doing archiving, I had access to people's data. So I could see some people, the way their career journey had like grown over the years. I could see someone that started as a security guard. And then I saw when he got admission to school, because I could see the times he took leave for exams. I could see how he updated his CVs, and he moved from the just the security guard position to a bigger position. And I was really, those were things that were pushing me, and I was like, I love to see this. I love to see this kind of thing. I love to help people. I would love to encourage such people to reach where they want to be. And those are
Wow.
some of the things that drive me.
Wow. But it's really interesting to see how people like they have higher qualifications, but they apply for jobs just because they want a job, you know. And it's
Yes,
good because you will see these people growing in the organization and becoming maybe the top performers. That's why it's really important to give people chances. I
yes,
believe in giving people chances and opportunities
yes,
because you don't know how much like the potential that one has
yes.
until you explore it.
True.
So that's really interesting. So what do you like about your job as a human resources agent?
Well, I I derive joy when I see these people grow. I derive joy when someone is happy in
Mm-hmm.
a work environment that helps them to reach a potential, helps them to be like, I love working here. I like to make a work environment very positive. I like to give people chances to like bring out their creativity, their ideas, and let them know that, okay, whatever you are bringing to the table is important. We make everyone feel important. And I like teamwork. I like teamwork. Everyone bring to the table what you have, and let's work together to reach this goal. I love that. I love when people are happy because they are growing. And I can say, oh, I in a little way or in any way, I was involved in helping this person reach this goal. Could be a career goal or a personal goal. It's something that makes me happy. It's one of the things I
And
love.
the good thing about this job is like when you give people jobs, sometimes you'll come across someone who's been like struggling and searching for employment for years,
Yeah,
and this person actually has the potential, and you see it, and you see them grow from scratch. It's just so rewarding, like on
yeah,
a personal level. It
yes,
really is.
yes.
All right. And as we know, for every job, there are challenges. What do you like
Definitely.
the least about your job?
Okay, what I like the least is having to let someone go, because at the end of the day, they may not really understand. Okay, we've tried our best, we've tried to help you align with what we want, and you're not just getting there. And it's
Okay.
not something I really like doing. And I don't really, also sending people rejection mails. That's something I don't really like doing.
Okay, I definitely understand what you're saying, but I have this way of trying to compensate that feeling. I always tell people like it's nothing to do with the HR person. It all have to do with you Because let's say in the working environment, you have this person who's not aligning with the company's code of conduct. And like there are always steps there. It's not like they will fire you the same day. Maybe they will try to train you. They do the performance improvement plan. Like the company invests in people. Hiring you is time consuming. Training you, like taking you all the way, just to
Yeah.
end up to a point where you have to be let go. It means like the company is also losing. But if we get to this point, it means on your side there's something that you didn't do, and that
Yeah.
has nothing to do with me. And you don't have to beat yourself up for that because that was that person's responsibility, you know. But again, as humans, you still have this feeling like if only I could do it on your side, like for you,
Yeah.
then then I would do. But I don't think you should blame yourself for that. You know, just understand like it's my job and have to do my best and that's it. And regarding rejection letters, like for candidates, some people they don't understand like we have a profile and like you need to match this particular profile that we're looking for. And maybe if you're not suitable for this particular profile, there might be another opportunity for you,
Yes.
you know.
Yes.
But I
Yes.
understand that with the pressure of a society and people really want to get jobs, they don't see it that way. But with time, they will maybe try to understand. Before, I used to feel so bad when I received rejections. I used to receive rejections. But today,
Yeah.
if I
We
receive a
all do.
rejection, I'll just be like, because I take time to look at the job description and try to understand what do they want, and I try to
Mhm.
do according to the job description. But if at the
Yes.
end I still not get that job, I receive a rejection letter, I'm like, maybe something went wrong. But anyways, if I can
Or they
clearly
found
figure it out,
someone whose experiences and skills align better, which is one of the
yeah,
things we tell candidates when we send the feedback, because we give feedbacks. And some once even despite the feedbacks and everything you give, they may just still be sending you mails. If they are able to reach your number, if they get your number, they keep calling, sending you text messages, telling you how they have families and so on.
oh
So
my
it's
God,
just
oh my God.
yeah.
But I will share with you a story. There was one lady, I rejected her application because she didn't meet the requirements. Guess what? She sent me an email. Like when I'm saying a professional email, she started like good day. And then the content, she was insulting me. And I was shocked. Like,
That's so
who does that?
unprofessional.
Like your test, if you could have used this energy and dedication to do your test, it would have
Mm-hmm.
been great. But you insulting me and even sign your name like best regards. I was shocked. I was traumatized. I know, like people, it happens. People can feel upset and send you bad messages. Sorry, but that day I felt so shocked. And guess what? She didn't only send one email. She sent several, like two emails. I'm like, before she continues, I spoke to one of my senior colleague in the organization, and she said just block her. And that was my first day to learn how to block someone on Gmail because I never blocked someone on email, you know. So it's
Yeah.
sad, but there's nothing we can
Crazy.
do. And
Yeah.
okay, I don't imagine on your side where they have to call you and send you messages. Anyways, that's crazy, but it's part of the job, unfortunately. We have to deal with it. And what do you usually do when people send you messages or call you? Like, what do you do?
Okay. Thank God for True Caller. A
Okay,
lot of them I could like recall from maybe a previous call that this is the same person, so I could just like ignore the call. um
okay,
for emails, I may reply based on their on your tone. If your tone is better, I could just tell you, oh, this is not just you. um uh, and it's not like we don't already send it in the feedback. We tell them, this we have someone else, but if there's another opening, we'll consider you like first. Those kind of things, like um, recent recruitment I did for, we needed 20 consultants, and when the recruitment was done, I sent the email to candidates in the pool, um,
Mm-hmm.
telling them that we found more suitable candidates, and like candidates that their skills align more. We appreciate their skills as well, and we're keeping them in the pool in case of any openings, or even if one of the people that are considered for hire um, rejects the offer, we can always go to the pool. And the kept calling, sending mails. Why did you say that? Why? And uh, okay, thank God it was just shortly before the Christmas break, so I just took off time. It's Christmas. I don't want this drama. Okay, and even when I got into ACF, um, when I did the recruitment, I was the highest in the assessment test. Okay, I saw that afterwards when I got into the
Mm-hmm.
organization.
Into the company.
Yes, I was the highest in the test, but I was not. I didn't really impress during the interview because I was not in in the humanitarian sector then. So there were some things they wanted that I did not have it. So um, afterwards they sent me. They told me they'll put me in the pool in case they needed someone afterwards, and I appreciated it, and I say thank you. Here, it's somewhat hard to like break into the humanitarian sector if you've not been there before. So I got the feedback, and I sent a thank you email for like telling me all those, like giving me that feedback. I appreciated it, and some should I say 2 months later, I received a call and they asked if I was interested, and that was how I got in there. So imagine
Well,
if I'd given them the insult like the other lady, they wouldn't have
yeah,
considered me.
that's why attitude is a good thing. Sometimes
Yes.
it's not only because you are not a suitable candidate, or maybe just because they found someone who has a better profile, you know. I also remember applying for a job and they were looking for someone who was fluent in English and French, what I had. But then, okay, according to me, I did good for that interview. I went from the first interview to the second interview. Then when I had the panel second interview, I was declined. I was interested to know like what happened. And they told me, no, they got someone who speak more languages than I do.
Wow.
Fine, thank you. So things like this happen, but I also understand on the candidate's point of view, we need to understand that sometimes people go through a lot on a daily basis, and it's hard for one to have a job. So when people see there's an opportunity, they feel like I'm the best suited person for this position. And when you don't take them, they still want explanations. Some people are able, like, I'm mature enough to understand, like, okay, I didn't get it, that's fine. But other people, they follow you as you just mentioned. So I think in your position, you shouldn't just beat yourself over that, just move on and understand, like, it is what it is, and there's nothing we can do. And also, it's really important to bring awareness as we're doing now, because people would tend to have maybe a better understanding of how things go, and sure it will change people's mentality. That's what I think. All right, so for someone who would like to follow your career path, is there any particular course that you think they should take?
Any particular course?
Yes, maybe
Mm,
any at university, anything like that.
okay. For people that are not in the humanitarian sector and they want to break into the humanitarian sector, there are some courses you can take. Um, if you go on disaster ready .org or .com, I think you would see courses there in almost every area of every department that usually work in a humanitarian sector. You're going to see courses. Those were the courses I took then before I
Okay.
started applying to the humanitarian sector. Um, Khan Academy, Udemy, Allison. There are lots of free courses. It doesn't necessarily have to be paid courses. And then with time, when your career starts growing, you can take more like higher courses and paid courses. Right now, I'm taking on a course. I want to be a chartered human resource professional, so I'm already registered. Those are paid for because now I can afford to pay for it. So it's just to start from somewhere. And if the recruiter is like someone with intuition and a lot of maybe experience, they would tell by some of the courses you take that this person is someone that wants to improve on themselves and is someone that could be a good fit if given the opportunity.
Thank you. And do you think the free courses are they recognized in the humanitarian world? Like, let's say
Yes,
someone goes and take one of the free courses and they bring the certification. Do you guys recognize it?
yes.
Alright. Thank you. And apart from the courses that one can take, do you think there are any transferable skills that one can bring in the industry?
Yes, besides the courses, if you have even little experience that could align and and it's something that okay, if I see this person has this certain experience, I could brush it up. I could, and in a short time they can fit into this role perfectly. The chance is given because I believe that was it for me. I was not in the humanitarian sector. I just had a few other experiences, and I believe they felt okay. She should be able to do it, and also with the courses she's done, let's try her.
Right. Thank you so much, Teresa. Um, what
Welcome.
are the challenges, like the daily challenges that you have in your work?
Mm, some other challenges could be relating with people. You know, not everybody is going to be open. Not everybody is going to want to be friendly. There are people you are going to meet in the course of work that will not want to make it easy for you. They are interested in just being on their own. They want to just do their work and go. It's not. I don't really think that's a team building spirit, but a lot of times there's nothing you can do. You hire them to do their work, not to make friends. That's what some of them are going to tell you. so, so
Thank you.
that's just. But
I'm laughing
well,
because I'm thinking like at some point it's true though. But again, you should be like friendly, you need to have teamwork spirit and
yeah, yes.
okay. And
Mhm.
apart from that, any other challenges related to work itself?
Okay. Um, in the HR space or like in general.
Both in the HR or in general.
Okay. Sometimes we need to evolve. We need to learn new things because
Mm,
the world is changing, and some of if you don't upgrade your knowledge, you it becomes whatsoever you think you know becomes obsolete, and so you need to like always keep abreast of changes. And if you don't, it becomes a challenge because you are left behind with old ways, old skills, old ideas.
Okay. Thank you so much.
You're
So,
welcome.
how do you view the human resources field in 10 years? Taking into consideration the development of technology, usage of AI, we know from traditional human resources a lot has changed. According to you, uh, where do you see the human resources industry in 10 years from now?
10 years from now, I believe a lot of the roles in human resources will be automated, but I still think
Okay.
we have to keep the human in the human resources. So no matter how automated things become or things go, I feel we as the human resource personnel, as long as you keep updating your knowledge and your skills, you'll be able to stay on top of it. But if you don't, then you become obsolete, and you may just lose out, and lose out to the machines, lose out to the automations, AI and everything.
Great. I
So
understand you. Usually people do complain when it comes to working after university. Sometimes it's hard for people to get jobs, one because they lack experience, or just because of the complication of the field itself and accessibility to employment. What has been your experience and what do you think about this statement?
okay, it's that's true, especially in a place like Nigeria. Um, Sometimes it's very difficult to to get employed. That's why you that's why cases like people calling and begging happens, and a lot of times people take advantage of this. You could be in an organization where a boss is threatening you and telling you that there are a lot of people that will take your job for less pay and those kind of stuff, and probably you not even getting in. It's also an issue. But I feel if I could have advised myself before I graduated, one of the things I would advise myself, which is some of the advice I give to my younger ones now, is for them to volunteer
Yeah.
to work with people. Tell them you want to intern with them, present what you can also offer while they teach you these things, while you acclimatize yourself with what you see yourself doing once you've graduated. It's not just graduating and then thinking, okay, I'm getting there now. You have to get skills, data skills, learn, intern, and it makes it easier for you to break into any place you want to enter into.
All right. Thank you. Before I move further with my questions, I just want to circle back to something that you mentioned. Supervisors or employers threatening employees about like getting them out of the working employment or like making them lose their jobs, things like that. And I know that is really frequent, especially in our countries in Africa. That happens a lot. And in Nigeria, how do people go about such behaviors? Like, let's say if your supervisor has to threaten you in that way, what steps will you take?
Okay, in the humanitarian sector, there are reporting mechanisms, like you can open channels of communications. You can report to, let's say, your line manager's line manager, or we have a grievance register. We have lines open. You can report directly to HR, to HQ, or you can like talk to the person. If you think, okay, this is just more than mere talk and has become like a threat, and the person is trying to make your life miserable, then yes, there are channels of reporting.
And are these procedures effective? Because I know we do have these procedures, but do you think that they are effective? Are they followed and appropriate measures are they taken?
Yes, in the humanitarian sectors, in the humanitarian sector, it's effective, but in the private sector, I cannot tell you it's effective because, or for a privately owned business with employees, everybody is scared of their job. Everybody's trying to curry favor for themselves, and so not really, not
Wow.
really that effective in the
That's not good at all. It's
no,
really not
not at
good.
all.
But let's hope someday in the future things will be favorable for everyone and
Mm-hmm.
everyone will have a great experience in the workplace. All right. So you mentioned volunteering as one of the experience building way or approach one can take. Is there any platform or any organization that you know of where people can go to seek for opportunity to volunteer?
I do believe any organization would receive volunteers as far as they are not paying them. A
Okay.
lot of them would not pay. In the humanitarian sector, if you're lucky, you could get paid. But in a private organization, in a private business, you may not be paid. So you may have to have to do something on the side that can finance your maybe transportation and movement, feeding and other things. But in the end, you gain the necessary experience that would give you a jump start.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise,
All
I
right.
believe
Thank you so much.
yeah.
No, go ahead. You may continue. Sorry.
Yeah, I believe every almost every business or would give an opportunity for a volunteer. Depends on their needs, and I believe once you put yourself well, show this is what you bring to the table as well, and you would like to learn, you would like some time to build your capacity. Yeah, I believe opportunities will be given.
Thank you, Theresa. Let me just ask about your current company where you work. You said that you guys train people and provide these trained candidates to companies that are seeking for employees. How does it work? Is it a case where you go to outsource people, or do you also take CVs from people who are interested? Is there any educational level that one needs to have, and in which field do you train these people?
Okay, we it depends on the needs of each organization that reaches out to us. Yes, we outsource, and you have to be a graduate.
Okay.
Yes, we receive CVs. We go through the CVs and see if we can train you. We train you, give you the necessary skills, and then outsource. The organization we're outsourcing to pays for those talents, and
And
we
in which field do you train people?
uh, in it. Like I said, it depends on the needs of any
Okay.
organization, but majorly data analysis, project management. Um, we have a training system where depends. It also depends on what the individual wants to be trained on. We train them for those skills that they are really really interested in. Okay, this is what I want to do, this is my career path I want to go into, and then we train them based on it. based on that their career path. We put them with our parent company, and the different training methods, mentorship, um, classroom training, and so on. And once they are ready, uh, we outsource them.
And is this training period paid or it's unpaid?
Okay, it's unpaid.
Okay.
It's unpaid because we believe the organization that wants those skills will pay for them, will pay for the
Okay.
talent. And but if, and then there is a stipulation, you have to be with the organization for a certain number of years, maybe like 2 years. uh, you don't just leave them high and dry. But if you would not do that, then you, if you just want to be trained and you want to go, you can pay for your training.
Okay. Wow, that's interesting. And do you receive a lot of people like who are interested to work, like to be trained?
For now, we are really just starting that, and it's something we want to go into very well this January. uh, Before now, we already have before now we just get these talents, and like, um, we all, this our parent company needs them, so we started with the parent company. We get these people. They work with the parent company as interns, consultants, maybe for like 6 months, a year, and then they're already working uh, full time. So
Okay.
now we want to branch it out to other organizations if they're interested in this particular thing we are offering. So that's what
Okay.
we are aiming to do.
Wow, that's really interesting. Like it
Yes.
really is. All right. So let's ask some more relaxed questions. I would say, as a child, what was your dream job? And if you can share a fun fact about you. I was stuck.
Okay.
When I was younger, I wanted to be a doctor. My mom worked for Médecins Sans Frontières, and I really loved what she used to do. And I was like, oh, I just want this life when I grow up. So becoming a doctor or and a journalist, these are the two jobs that I loved. But life happened, and I found myself in human resources that I enjoy too. And a fun fact about me, one of the fun facts is that I enjoy listening to music while reading. It's funny. And I don't know how I do it, but I just really enjoy doing it. What about you?
Okay, it's crazy what you mentioned for the things you wanted to do when you were younger, because those are the things I wanted to do. At first, I wanted to be a journalist, and then I wanted to
Okay.
be a doctor. But here I am in human resources, and yes, I love doing what I do. Um, Also, I a fun fact about me, I can, if I want to do something, if I want to read whatever it is, even if a building is falling, I can concentrate and I'm not distracted.
Wow, that's great. Like it's really important to be like a focused individual, but if a building is falling, I will be running. I won't sit there. I'll try to save my life
Okay,
first, then
maybe that's
everything
taking it too far,
after.
but yeah, that might be taking it too far. But yeah, I can be
I
very,
understand.
very focused.
I understand. Like don't get easily disturbed, and that's a very good skill to have. Right. So since I'm in the recruiting environment, I would like to get some feedback about you. I know you have experience and you work in the human resources, but I also believe that before you get there, you were hired by someone or you were interviewed by someone. What has been your experience with recruiters? If you can share one good experience that you had and one bad experience, if you have any.
Hmm. I've had several good experiences, and I can't say I've had a bad experience. Um, Good experiences. I always try to be truthful and plain and clear. This is what I've done. I'm not trying to like exaggerate or something. I'm telling you, this is what I've done, and this is what I can do, and this is what I believe I can do. So, if given the chance, I can do this. So, I've had several. Okay, my very first interview, I told the recruiter I've not done any other work. If you give me this chance, I'm going to prove myself. So, and I was given the chance. So, it's been
And
good
prove
experience.
yourself. Great. And as they say, giving people opportunities is good, you know. And as we were talking earlier, sometimes we don't know how much people can be great candidates until we give them the opportunity to show themselves.
Yeah.
Okay. So, is there any assumption that people have about your job which is not true? I'll tell you
Okay.
about my case. Like as a recruiter, people they usually feel like we don't hire them for positions because maybe I have a personal issue with them or I don't like them. But they forget that it's nothing to do with the person as an individual, but it's just that sometimes their profile doesn't match the profile that we are being like we are hiring for. And this is something that a lot of people do not understand. In your case, is there anything like that that you can share?
Okay. Some of the assumptions and misconceptions people have had about human resources, they feel like we don't really do anything. Like we're just there. Some would even ask you why the need for human resource, and I'm like, are you serious?
Okay. But it's because the human resources they are in the background and people don't see them and they just feel like, what do you guys do apart from blaming us or firing us, giving us jobs,
Uh,
and the rest of the time you relax? But it's not the case. And yeah, I'm sure with the more you bring awareness, the more people would tend to understand what each job does. And we always feel like the other person's job is always easier, but it's never the case.
true.
So yeah. All right. Is there any topic that you prepare that you feel important to share that may be beneficial for people out there?
Mm, not really, but one thing I like is capacity building, capacity development, learning and development. So I feel um, if people want to do something, they want to get something done, they can put themselves to it. And I'm a believer, and I believe God is going to like align them. It's going to align, like, there's no way you're going to, even people that are non believers, I believe they feel that, okay, if you follow a certain principle, you should get certain results. So I
Mhm.
feel if we put ourselves to learn, the opportunities are going to come to us.
All right. Thank you. And what advice would you give to someone out there seeking for a career in human resources or someone who wants to migrate to the human resources industry?
Okay. The advice I would give is a human resource personnel, as much as you are a business partner, you are also the voice of the employee. You have to have empathy. So you have to learn to be a leader, a good leader, and be able to. You have to be a negotiator. You have to be able to build. good relationships and mediate and learn, take courses, and you can volunteer. If you're in another career path, you can volunteer in human resource for a another company, or for even for wherever you work. Like in Acted, we have something where we could if a person wants to change their career path, there's opportunity for you to intern with the department you want to change to for a period of time. And once you've learned and grown into that role, you get a full-time opportunity.
Wow. Thank you so much. That's a valuable advice, and I'm pretty sure it will help someone out there. So, that was it for my side. Do you have any question for me?
Yeah. How has your experience been in the human resource? How have you grown into it? What made you finally say you wanted to do human resource?
All right. So, me finding myself in the human resources, it's more because initially I wanted to do medicine, as I told you, and I found myself in a situation where I was not admitted at university that was in South Africa. So I was applying, but I was never accepted. Then I met a and how do they call them, a student advisor, who explained to me like it would be hard for me to start there as an undergraduate student because I was an international student and chances were less. Like, she explained the whole thing to me, and I just came to a conclusion where I felt like, okay, that's then something that I cannot do. Then one of my I would say one of there's someone that I knew who advised me to do human resources. And that day, I didn't even know what human resources is. I heard the word human. I'm like, is it something to do with medicine or something like that? Then I went ahead. I went ahead and I did some researches because I had so much passion for medicine that I felt like if I don't do medicine, then there's nothing else that I can do. And I wasn't open-minded like about other possible courses that I could take. And I did the research. I'm like, okay, it's kind of interesting because I really love helping people. And I always say, we only give what we have. And for me, being able to service, to put a smile on people's faces was what I needed to do. And in medicine, that's what we do, like what they do, healing people and putting that smile on people's faces. I'm like, okay, let me give it a try. And then I studied human resources. It was interesting. So that's why I was like, okay, then this is where I'm staying. What has my experience been? I would say interesting because I meet people from all over the world. I have done some recruitment in Africa, in the USA, in Canada. When I work with Abuse Refuge Org that I mentioned, I worked there as a talent acquisition. So they hire people from worldwide. Currently, I do hire people from Latin America and the Caribbean. It has been really interesting. I've learned a lot from others, and I've learned a lot about myself too, because it's a job where it's hard for you to know yourself better until you find yourself in a certain position, and it builds you. You come to a point where you need to adapt and try to align with people's background or way of seeing things. I've been having I would say, great experience speaking to people. Sometimes you come across these people that you don't know and you share a smile with them, and maybe you'll never meet them again in your life, but it's really great. To be honest with you, I love what I do. Although there's this part of the firing, um, part of the job that I struggled with in the beginning, issuing warnings. Sorry, it was hard. But I just ended up to realize like it has nothing to do with me. So I don't give you warnings. You put yourself in a position where the
Yeah,
warning has to be issued, and unfortunately, I'm the one to issue the warning.
it's
So
not personal.
so it's not personal, but I always try my best to speak to people to make them understand the company's procedures, to make them understand what their obligations are and what their rights are. Because usually few people like reading. Sometimes you're excited, like I want this job and stuff. And now you don't even take time to read, like what are you entitling yourself to? What kind of contract are you signing? And I remember once interviewing someone, that person during the interview, that was a face-to-face interview, the person was so eager to work and this person was so excited. We hired the person and that person was part of my team. I was a team leader. And one day I see this person complaining, "Oh, I don't like the working shifts. I want to be working for on weekends as well because I need some time off during the week." And I'm like, I remember interviewing you and I told you about the working schedule. You agreed. So
And
why are you
yeah, you
complaining?
agreed.
You're like, "Oh, Missy, I was looking for a job. I had to agree to everything." And I'm like, okay. So it's interesting, like to be honest with you, to see how people come into the organization, sometimes with no experience, some other times they have the experiences, but again, develop themselves. It's interesting to see how people sell themselves during the interview and still be these great candidates they claimed to be during the interview. Yes, you can be disappointed to see someone selling themselves high, but when they get a job, the performance is poor. So all these things, like, they just put you to a position where it betters you and it makes you a better person. As I mentioned before, I used to feel bad when someone, like when I'm not hired for a job or when I'm not taken. Yes, I want to go ahead and harass that person or call them, but I used to feel bad within myself. But at the end of the day, this job helped me to see things on the other side of the working environment. And yeah, I just had a great experience. Any other question?
No, it's really been interesting um, chatting with you.
The pleasure is mine. And before you go, okay, you already said about how did I make you feel. Um, what do you think about this conversation? Is it something that you would do some other time, or anything
Yeah.
that any feedback that you're willing to provide regarding this conversation?
It's something I would like to do some other time. Okay. Like there was a question you asked me, and I told you, okay, we were still into the implementation stage, like the talent training thing at Talent Lab Limited here, where I told you we're going to be starting January. I would like maybe sometime down the line, I should be able to say, okay, this is how far we've come, this is what we've done, and this is our success story. Yeah, so it's something I would like to do some other time, even if it is not to just answer that particular question for.
Great. Yeah, I would love to see that. I love seeing progress. I love seeing people growing and companies growing. So, by all means, whenever you are ready, reach out to me at any time. I'll be ready to assist, and we can schedule another session like this where we can share. And maybe I'm pretty sure by then you will have a more structured plan or things like that we can share as well with people. And they will be able to, it's a way also of sourcing candidates, and people would be aware of your organization, and surely they'll come forward with CVs and stuff. All
Yes.
right. So, Teresa, it was a great pleasure speaking to you. I just want to thank you
Pleasure
for
is
willing
mine.
to share your experience and letting us know about what you do. I also learned a lot from this conversation, and I'm grateful for that.